Hey, what's up? This is Cody the Coin Raptor, and welcome to my channel. I'm here to provide you the best crypto content that you can find, starting with our Bitcoin chart update. All right, Bitcoin has been downtrending very strongly, very strongly. We've been talking previously about how it's been in this range, and it is still stuck in this range here. And yesterday, we were looking at this, and I was saying, well, it's definitely going to come back down again, and it has, in fact, come back down. And so you can see here, it's almost at 20,000 because today we opened up, the NASDAQ was incredibly red, and so it just kind of bled down, and just took out many supports along the way. I still think it has some room to fall yet here. And next support we're going to look at is under 20,000, probably 19,800 or so. That's what I'm looking at for the next support level. If we go take a look at the RSI, we can see that right now it is approaching oversold. Not yet oversold, but it's approaching oversold. So we can see here at a 32, in order to be oversold, it has to be under a 30. So it's very close, and honestly, this should not surprise you. I expect it's going to stay within this range for the time being, and then from there, it will probably wind up retesting this support level that I've outlined here at about 19,300. All right. Ethereum has been even worse off. Bitcoin has decreased quite a bit, and Ethereum has followed it and has cut through every single support level so far. And I expect it's going to retest 1,071 and then come back down here to 1,000 and then maybe even hit 900 again within the next couple of weeks. We'll see what happens. I'll try to keep you up to date with the most information that I can. The newest and latest, greatest information. Check out my Twitter, and you can get regular updates from me there. So we're going to check the dollar index again. Take a look at the dollar index. It is completely unchained. And it's 107. It's the highest it's been in, let's see here. Let me double check and see. It is the highest that it's been in years. We're talking about, let's see, over 10 years at least. It's kind of crazy. It broke out from here at about 104 or so, and it came, and it's coming even higher than that at 107. So, and the reason why we look at the dollar index is because Bitcoin tends to trade inversely with the dollar index. So that's something we've seen here. It has a very strong inverse correlation. The dollar index goes up, and Bitcoin goes down as a result. All right, and that's something that we've seen. I mean, look at this. It's perfect. The inverse correlation here. It's just perfect. So right now, we're at the cusp of one of the most important weeks for crypto, and the reason for that is that because we're actually going to be having the CPI reading. The CPI data is going to be released on Wednesday. So that leads us into our first story here. U.S. inflation data will make or break crypto markets. Okay, so they're going to go ahead and release the CPI. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics will release the CPI, and that's basically the Consumer Price Index. The data for the month of June on the 13th of July, that's on Wednesday, and it's going to tell you the change in prices paid. So basically, it's a tool for inflation. All right. And the reason why this matters is because that if this number comes in higher than it did last time, then we can expect the Fed's going to be raising interest rates. And if the Fed raises interest rates, that's going to be spiking this dollar index even further. The reason why the dollar index is so high lately is because the Fed keeps raising interest rates, and it keeps raising interest rates dramatically. We're talking about 75 basis points or 0.75%, on that last meeting that they had. So this is going to cause Bitcoin to go down. Quite frankly, it's going to trade inversely. Bitcoin's going to trade inversely to the dollar index, and so it's going to drive the Bitcoin prices and therefore crypto down. Now, on the other hand, if it comes in where it is expected, and I think the expectations for this is the general consensus is going to be 8.8%. If it comes in below that number, then we could actually see a big boost for the Bitcoin price and throughout stocks, because it means that the Fed is getting a hold of inflation. And that's what we want to see. We want to see the Fed get a hold of inflation, because when they do that, they'll stop raising interest rates. And when they stop raising interest rates, that will buoy the price of crypto, and the price of crypto will head higher. So I will be watching for this. I'll be waiting to see what the CPI readout's going to be for the week. And I will give you as best of information as I can. So, and it's just, this article just explains everything that I just talked about. They talk about the crucial support for Bitcoin at about 20,300. I think that the support level is probably going to be lower than that personally, but the way I see it is I don't see this macro environment changing until the Fed stops raising interest rates. That's just how it's going to be. It's going to provide a downward pressure on the price of Bitcoin and crypto until it stops. All right, next story we have here is some more news on the regulatory side. So you had the global financial watchdog, the FSB, the Financial Stability Board, is going to propose crypto regulations in October, and they're going to recommend these regulations to the G20, the G20 summit that's going to be happening. So what they're looking at is they're looking at potential regulation for stablecoins. They're looking at potential regulations for crypto assets. The recent collapses of many of these crypto firms have gotten regulators very animated to try and install some consumer protections and change the way crypto markets are regulated. So there's not a lot of information about what exactly they're going to recommend just yet. I'm going to see if I can find some more information on this, and I'll make sure I let you guys know. But this is, I think that if these G20 leaders are going to be in the same room as the FSB, they're probably going to wind up taking a lot of the same recommendations as the FSB are recommending. And hopefully it's not going to be heavy-handed crypto regulation. If it is, that's not going to be good for the crypto space. We want light regulation or reasonable crypto regulation. And the reason for that is that it will also increase adoption, which should be a goal of any cryptocurrency. Next, we have another important report here, and this is from the UN, that Venezuela ranks third among countries with the most crypto adoption. So we've talked many times on this show about Latin American countries and their increasing Bitcoin adoption and crypto adoption, because many of these countries don't have a solid financial system in place, and their currency is not solid. It's not good. It's not good enough to prop up an economic system. So instead, they look at crypto and crypto adoption to fill in the holes and provide a banking service, for instance, for those who are not banked. So Venezuela is one of the friendliest Latin American countries for crypto right now, according to this report the UN put out. So the report issued last month states that the cryptocurrency ecosystem has grown by 2,300% between September 2019 and June 2021, and that the COVID-19 pandemic was one of the main catalysts for this growth. Now that's huge. That's massive. 2,300% in the span of less than 2 years. That's actually pretty remarkable. Though I would like to see what it's like after this June 2021 time. So, and I think that with a lot of these Latin American countries, we're going to see a lot more adoption coming in because they have holes in their financial system, and many of them don't want to be using the dollar or using any sort of foreign currency, and so they'd rather be using something like Bitcoin instead. It's seen as a better option. And you can see some of the reasons for the growth here is the use of cryptocurrencies was an attractive channel in terms of price and speed through which to send remittances. So that's the other thing we see is that the remittances costs, so them sending money to their families back from, say, the United States, is much less using cryptocurrency than it is using the dollar. So that's one reason for the strong growth of crypto adoption. And I suspect it's not the only reason. And I expect that we're going to be seeing more adoption throughout Latin America space and Africa. I'll try to cover that as much as possible. All right, that's all I got for you guys today. If you like my content, please like and subscribe, and also follow me. I would greatly appreciate it. This is Cody the Coin Raptor, signing out.